Hi, what's up guys? This is William. In this video, I'm going to talk about something I call the control mindset. So in a previous video, I talked about 10 strategies or 10 methods to control your classroom. And in that video, I talked about something called the class control mindset or the control mindset, which determines or the perspective from which you apply the 10 sets of rules. So I'm going to dive deep into what I call the control mindset, and we're going to look at that for today. Let's take it from the top. What exactly is this thing I call the control mindset? So the control mindset basically has to do with the mindset or the perspective, the idea which you hold in mind when you want to apply the 10 methods, and it makes these methods very effective. But looking at the control mindset itself, what exactly is it? So first of all, you are teaching a lesson and you want to control the children. Why exactly do you want to control the children? That is where the control mindset comes in. You want to control the children because, one, you want them to pay attention to the lesson. You want them to be able to learn something. You don't just want the child to sit down and do nothing. That is not class control. Well, that is control. If you have control issues as a teacher, as me, but that is not effective unless the control focuses the child's attention on the particular lesson that you are teaching. So, for example, sometimes it's not even a lesson. Sometimes the teacher even just requires the child to do something else. Whatever it is that you're doing, the whole idea behind the control mindset is to be able to get the child's attention, number one, and to hold that attention throughout the entire period of that particular activity or lesson that you are performing. There are a lot of ways that you can affect this particular thing that I'm talking about, which is the control mindset. So, when you're teaching a lesson, you have to have in mind that the most significant thing during that lesson is for the child to learn. Why else are you teaching the child if it's not for the child to learn? And let's talk about something briefly. Do you know how many children, how many kids, or how many students it takes to disrupt a lesson? Yeah, it takes just one. Not the whole class, not the entire class, not half of the class, not five kids, not three kids. It takes just one child, one student to disrupt the whole lesson. So, the whole idea is that when you are teaching a lesson, you have to try as much as possible. What we want to do is try to capture everyone's attention and to hold it. Because the moment you lose one person's attention, either you're going to leave that particular one behind and not teach them, or you're going to lose the others in order to try and get back that particular one's attention. That's where the whole control issue comes in. How exactly do we try and circumvent putting a lot of energy into actually controlling the children? So for example, you're going to try and use stickers. You're going to try and use methods like a mean teacher, try and scare the child, try and shout at the child, or you're going to try and use other methods, other praise, other things. How exactly can you try and avoid some of these things and to put a lot of your energy into the actual lesson and get the child's attention for the lesson instead? One thing I like to do is I like to be really active and be very jovial in and also exaggerate every single action during the lesson. This way the children's attention is drawn to that particular thing and all of them are expecting something. It's kind of like, okay, for example, at the beginning of my lesson, everybody give teacher William a high five. So, while you are high fiving one person, what do you think the others are going to be doing? They're all going to be paying attention to who? They're going to be playing, exactly, because these are children, these are kids. Students are their mind is not like, okay, this is a very important lesson which is going to change my life, so I have to pay attention and get these 15 rules of life. No, the kids are not thinking that. So while I'm going to give one person a high five, I'm looking at the other kids as if this is going to hit. And they're all just looking at me expecting to see how this hits and how I'm gonna react. So it's like, oh, and everyone is just laughing. So I'm not saying you should be just like me. I'm saying this is an example of what I do to try and capture the whole all of the kids' attention. So basically, what I'm saying is, if you want to put very little effort into trying to control the children, then you have to put more effort into making the lesson itself interesting, into exaggerating every moment, into making sure that what you are doing is actually interesting enough that the children want to be part of while you're teaching. Teaching is not easy. Teaching ESL in particular is not easy. So, for example, for someone like me, I teach a kindergarten. I teach in a kindergarten, and as much as I've tried to better my Chinese language, my Chinese speaking, my fluency in Chinese, and I try to use the Chinese language to try and control the children sometimes. So, for example, you want the child to sit down, you're saying sit down, and the child is not responding to that. You want to try and speak the child's local dialect, like 坐下 or 请你坐下, 会坐. You want to speak the Chinese language to try and get the child's attention, to let the whatever it is you're saying sink deeply. But that also requires its own level of energy that you're putting into that without the actual lesson going on. So I try as much as possible when I'm teaching to focus a lot of my energy on the class itself. I know stickers work. I know rewards work. I know trying to praise one child, oh, well done, John. Everybody look at John. John is sitting very well. I know all of that works. Oh, Bian, Shay, all of that works. It works really well. But the more time, the more you put into doing all of that, it takes a lot out of all of the lesson. And what I'm trying to say is that you can have the mindset that because the whole idea is to get the child to participate, maybe you can structure the lesson itself to have that energy so that you can push it into the lesson to capture the child's attention automatically. You get what I mean, don't you? So, for example, you want one child to say a particular word or the flashcard, and the child says it in a particular way. You can exaggerate that aspect of, what? There are certain little things that you can do to capture everyone's attention and to hold their attention. Capturing their attention is not the most difficult part. It is difficult in itself, but that doesn't last as long as the entire lesson. It takes maybe just a minute it takes maybe just a few seconds to capture the child's attention. That's why we have something like response phrases, or call and response, as I call it. Follow me, follow you. The child says that. You've captured their attention, but if you don't hold it, the attention is gone. The attention is going to be gone again. So, what exactly do you do? Put a lot of energy into teaching the lesson itself. Sometimes I play the fool. Not because I'm a fool, obviously. Not because I'm stupid, I'm silly. It's not just because I like children and I like to be playful, but also it's because it helps make the lesson easier in terms of classroom control. Like attenuating your voice, making your voice louder, making it lower, shouting one word to surprise the kids. Like actions that when you're teaching during your lesson, it just gets the child's attention automatically. I'm not saying you should do things like me. Everyone has their way of doing things. But I'm saying that with this control mindset, keeping in mind that the whole idea is for the child to participate, not just silencing the child, not just preventing one child from listening, not just putting your anger on the child because you think the child is disrupting the class and you're angry and you want to get them to shut up and sit down and they are annoying and all that. That is not the right mindset for classroom control. If you want classroom control to be effective, really effective, you have to keep in mind that the whole idea is to be able to capture the child's attention and to hold that attention for as long as you can. Sometimes it's not easy and you have to reboot and reset the class sometimes, but it's something that you have to do. Sometimes you have to pause and phrase like something is going on, like that. Just whatever it takes for you to hold that attention. is what you have to do. And I get it. Rewards aid this particular mindset. Praising one child aids this particular mindset. Uh, Punishment, like taking stickers away, everything aids this particular mindset. This whole idea that the important thing is for the child to be able to learn and participate in the lesson. So, next time you're in class, next time you want to control a child, next time you want to shout at a child, silence a child, do something about one child who's not participating, or one child who's not listening to the lesson, or one child who's disturbing, control mindset. The whole idea is for the child to be able to learn and participate in your lesson. Thank you for watching this one. It's been great and lovely to have you. So if there's anything that you want me to talk about or discuss, if you have any ideas, any videos you want me to make, anything that you feel you can talk about, you can leave them all down in the comment section below, and I'll talk about them in my next video. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support. Do like and subscribe. If you're new to this channel, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Love and peace.